Commander, find the Lombax and the robot. I want them alive.
Alright, so as mentioned, let's go to the Obani moon, my bad.
The Obama moon. Oh, so that's what Eggman meant when he was pissing on
that's
it.
that's the material that they use for making the pyramids, Jova. There we go. It involves a bunch of other more reflector puzzle combining with the spheroids, from the second game, Again, it's a neat trick in order to make you progress with the puzzle as you go on. And if you may remember, the making of from the second game mentioned that when Insomniac built these, between the rotation and the vertigo, they try to make sure to not, make them too nausea fuel inducing. But apparently, in some testing, some people got very close to that. So
I do.
Spyro with the Japanese version.
I guess, go on, Trevor.
I do like how, in a way, this is the full culmination of what was originally deleted content that we saw from Ratchet 2. You know, it's kind of cool, seeing as how originally it was just scrapped, but then they actually found a way for it to work in an actual full-fledged game, and voila.
Oh, the planetoids were already a thing in the second game. Not sure what else you're referring to.
I'm pretty sure this is like one of those, I'm pretty sure this is one of those level concepts from like the dev room in the Ratchet 2 game.
Not really.
Unless I'm mistaking it with another concept.
Possible.
That was there.
Like again, there is stuff that this game was supposed to have that was cut, as we've hinted, I think, in 2 parts ago. Specifically, the racing minigame, for example, if I recall, is completely gone because it was supposed to be there with stuff like, for example, a track in Solana, but because of a time constraint, since it was developed in like less than a year. A lot of the stuff of that was cut away, especially because there was the focus on the multiplayer type of content, so Insomniac had to focus mostly on that instead. Honestly, I do not really feel that much some missing stuff. As I mentioned in No Secret, I wasn't particularly a fan of racing of either games to begin with, so to be honest, I'm not feeling that kind of loss. Sure, I don't particularly care much about the multiplayer reflected content, the world maps. Sure, they bother to try to have a bit of variety, but I can live without them, for example, But the stuff that there is in the game, I think it's plenty for now, complete with also new minigame and stuff. So I don't know. Anyway, now you're in the proper section of the second Obani moon. There you go. Which means you had to reach a Skidd properly. Oh, sorry, Shadow Dude. Properly in his designated spot where he's trying to give you a hand. So it's more straightforward combat instead of a puzzle.
I always did dig these little mini planet levels.
Again, I still don't remember who really started the trend. I don't think it was this franchise. Sure, Mario Galaxy basically perfected that, but I do wonder what were at the very least a prototype of this kind of concept, because I'm pretty sure, at least in the PlayStation era, there was something similar to this. I mean, PlayStation 1 era.
If we're talking strictly 3D, yeah. If you mean as early as 2D, I think the earliest bout was Yoshi's Island involving the boss battle against the crow.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Well, Jova, maybe that's just it. That's probably where Sonic Boom got the
Beam.
the Enter Beam, because that's what they do in Rise of Lyric as well,
But
and to a lesser extent Shadow Crystal. But Shadow Crystal was more scripted.
But Pedro, again, without the constant quipping, how do I know that they're actually doing it?
No, the thing about the quipping is that, see, the problem with a lot of these games that do the quipping during gameplay is that they seem to only do it either for stupid jokes or for tutorial purposes, like Sonic Heroes does. Like I feel like what they could do is do something akin to what the Tales of series does, where they have these in-gameplay quits be part of the character narrative in some aspect. Like, you know, when we start a major boss battle in Tales, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Okay. I will say that one of the major differences is that in a game like that, there's a major separation of gameplay. You know, sections on land and then, you know, on combat. You know, where it kind of makes more sense. But stuff like Sonic Boom, Rise of Lyric, for example, because it's structured like an actual platformer. The gameplay is more homogenized in presentation. You know, it's not like it's separated outside of the character-specific stuff. The general thing that you do is still, you know, presented in like the same kind of way, and as a result, the quipping happens almost constantly, and that's kind of the problem with people. Like, not just the fact that you know, the praise themselves are borderline cringe, if not, you know, outright, but that they never shut the fuck up.
Cover me! Oh, man down!
It's all right, Skidd. The fight's over.
Yes! I mean, no. That blows, man. I would have been here sooner, but I encountered some heavy-duty resistance.
Enemy troops?
Well, not exactly. The drive through a Galaxy Burger was wicked.
Hey, remember when Skidd was actually a pro player at the hoverboard? Because this game doesn't.
I wonder if maybe if they were going to bring back the racing, he would have been a pro at that, but since that got cut, they didn't have as much to do for him.
Hey, lucky for you dudes, I brought this.
You're not Gordon Freeman.
I'm like a trained professional and stuff. Don't try this at home. Oh man, it's
He's not a highly trained professional.
Oh, wait, never mind.
Incoming call from the Galactic Rangers.
Alright, let's see.
Sarge, Blackwater City is under attack.
Basically, this is the game, not necessarily padding, but close to that. Remember Blackwater City from the first game? Now it's properly under attack, and you need to actually perform a set of, you know, multiplayer style combat missions to pass the time.
That hoverboard trip to
Wow, this is
The Rangers need our help.
this is
Let's
really
go.
bad. You have to broadcast in 4x3 and everything.
That's how you know it's serious, Lives.
Okay, give us a call if anything.
But yeah,
comes
like
up.
Tio mentioned, this is kind of a weird moment where you make it to this point, but nope, time to go deal with Blackwater City, then come back later.
Conveniently leaving Skidd alone, so just that you know the enemy is gonna do something to him. Go on, Pedro.
Here's what I would do in gameplay dialogue in Ratchet if I was in charge. You can have Ratchet ask a question about the specific planet they're in, you know, since Clank is all knowledgeable about it, you could have Clank even make some kind of explanation which allows to, you know, the writers to do some world building, and then you can hand in, for the sake of adding a little bit of humor, you can have Ratchet make some kind of sarcastic remark about, oh, this world is kind of weird or something along those lines. Like,
I mean, when it comes to that kind of dialogue in general, the Future Saga already has that. So.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Yeah, we have even the entering like it's a battle royale. So you do that where we drop in boys moment.
This is how, if they ever get that Power Rangers reboot off the ground, this is how the Power Rangers should enter every battle.
You know, Power Rangers have done a few game genres, not battle royales yet.
There we go.
Exterminate!
Yeah, it's time to
Exterminate!
speed up more. Again, this is also the game trying to have the cake and eat it too by having technically speaking, you being on a planet that was from the first game, but with the level design, it's kinda unrecognizable. So
Yeah. It's not even really a full-fledged level per se. It's kind of more like a battle map.
yeah, it's one of the battle maps for the multiplayer mode that they just, incorporated in the single player by having you, go here. Again, it wouldn't be... It won't be unrewarded. You will get something by completing this mission, so at the very least, the game does not let you waste your time completely. But you can kind of tell that it's clearly a pacing kind of thing where the game just decides arbitrarily to stop for a moment.
Thank goodness at the very least the transitions to worlds are instantaneous. Imagine if they made it that you had to drive to each of these worlds, then drive back.
Oh well.
It is what it is. Once again, good choice of music.
Well, again, it's mostly because that was the thing that was happening at the time. So I was like, okay, let's make this the theme of the speed-up sections of the game.
Nice. Be funny if Deltarune does get a chapter that's pretty much war-based.
Who knows?
Anything can happen at this point with that game. Jesus Christ.
This is from Deltarune again, I take it.
Yes. Alright, let's see what we get. The gravity boots. Ratchet, you really should actually have a habit of keeping this safe. At the very least, those.
Did you go to the Samus school of losing stuff? Girl really needs to keep track of her equipment better.
Alright, if you forgot, thanks to the winning the All of It comic, we were able to ask Courtney Gears an appointment at the All-Star Studios, where Clank usually films his stuff.
Sir. Now you see us, now you... Oh, crud.
Can nothing go right?
Cut! That's it! You've disgraced my set for the last time, kid. Take up basket weaving. You're fired! Get me the monkey.
His look reminds me a bit more of how Peter Jackson looked at this point in time.
Yeah, to be fair, early 2000, it kind of makes sense. It was right after he basically won jackpot with the Return of the King at the Oscars, so that would make sense. But the thing
So there you go, Ratchet Clank as directed by Peter Jackson.
Jackson is not really a perfectionist, okay, not that kind of way, but he wasn't in particular even much of a dick on set, so I really do wonder what kind of, egotistical mannerism they're trying to parody.
So, Ratchet's been fired.
And Scrunch is gonna take basically his place. So for the time being, we have to be filming, technically. You have to basically say what the director says. If you potentially die, it counts as a, failed take, and you need to start again.
I've played Stuntman too.
With the director growing exasperated more and more.
Oh, okay, Clank. Today we're shooting the 11th scene of the characters walking down a mountain. So, positions, everyone?
Have any of you guys played the Stuntman games?
No, I might have heard that, but no.
Let me guess.
Basically,
it's a video where you play as a stuntman, isn't it?
Yeah, you're playing a stuntman doing various different movie stunts while doing little special car trick shows in between. You have to follow what the director says, and if you don't, then, well, the director says cut, and it's like, what the hell are you doing?
Alright, let's pull Scrum.
I really enjoyed playing the first game when I was younger.
Who is the publisher of those?
Infogram.
So that would mean Modern Atari.
Yeah, Infogram / Atari, yeah. It was released for the PS2 and, oddly enough, Game Boy Advance.
It's not too uncommon that a lot of games at the time had a portable equivalent that is, instead of 16-bit version of the on the GBA. Anyway, this is basically your excuse to have another Clank section with Scrunch and the Gadget bots. It's just that they try to be a bit more quirky with that. while poor Ratchet has to wait in the at the trailer because he was fired. I can't understand the frustration at this point, considering basically half of the galaxy believes Clank to be super awesome just because they believe he's the character that he's reciting as, while poor Ratchet, who busts his ass at doing all the fighting, you know, has to be treated like that. And now, giant Clank fight against a random monster. Yeah, if I recall correctly, another thing that was cut away were, you know, shooting sections with giant Clank. This is actually one of the few of them. But yeah, again,
you could say
Insomniac's love for the kaiju movies showcases. Go on, Jova.
I guess you could say size really does matter.
That's 2 games from now, Jova.
But yeah, no, while definitely Free as my favorite of the plots in the original trilogy, even I did kind of get a bit annoyed with the whole, oh, don't you get it? Ratchet's not recognized as the main hero.
Again, it's part of the joke of the whole satire thing, the fact that, you know, these poor fuckers, which read some glory at this point, you know, are in a galaxy full of cynicism that doesn't particularly, you know, ever care until, you know, disaster strikes. And instead reward someone like Quark, you know. But again, I get why it can be potentially annoying to some. The thing is that, again, the Future Saga instead went almost on the complete, you know, other side and focused entirely on the episcope. So, while technically present to some degree, the satire angle is heavily downplayed.
Which I do feel is a shame, since I feel like Ratchet & Clank was definitely at its best when it was being satirical and a bit cynical.
Oh, but don't you see, Jova, in the movie, they made an hashtag joke. That counts as a satire, right?
You know, without spoiling, I get that there's a certain aspect which sort of explains why things are like that, but no, even by that standard, it's just dumb.
We'll get to that.
The sad part is that if you're a good writer, you can make humor based on internet culture well if you know what you're doing.
Absolutely.
As Neo Twelly demonstrates, you can do this kind of joke. You just need to do it in a way that doesn't feel pandering and shallow.
Like, fart jokes have a bad rap, but fart jokes are arguably just like any joke. If you write them well, they can work.
If you're a good comedian and writer, you can make anything funny, even a corpse.
Well, I was interested in seeing that film in which Daniel Radcliffe plays a corpse, so who knows?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I
Swiss
forgot
Army
the title.
Man.
Well,
Yeah,
is it a comedy, though?
Yeah, dark comedy, but
let me
yes.
check.
It's technically labeled as dark comedy, if I recall correctly.
Daniel Radcliffe corpse film.
Like Jova said, the Swiss Army Man.
Swiss Army Man. It's a surrealist comedy drama.
Yeah, I had already mentioned the name.
Also, for some reason, the Kaiju has an army of ninja robots with Darth Maul's double-edged, you know, lightsaber. Sure.
I get it. Everyone was all on board that double-edged lightsaber.
It's more like a microcosm of everything that you know, America in the 80s perceived as, you know, Japanese film industry and thought it was cool, which, you know, technically speaking, not wrong, but like I said, an amalgamation of things rather than its singular parts.
I hope the audience don't mind this kaiju scene maybe dragging on a bit in the film.
Well, depends, Dweebs. You've been recently watching a lot of kaiju movies. Which is the one that you think had the fight scenes going on for way too long?
Off the top of my head, not necessarily that they were long, it was so that they kind of was dragging a little bit.
Gone.
I've got the list right here, actually.
All in a day's work.
Cut! Print it! That's a wrap, people! Pure box office raritanium Clank.
Alright, that means we finally can have the quote-unquote date with Courtney
To be
Gears.
rescued by a big hunk of titanium alloy like yourself.
Perhaps now you will tell me what Dr. Nefarious is planning.
I have a better idea. Why don't you ask
What?
him yourself?
Jesus.
You know, in
I-
hindsight,
I have
maybe
a
telling her
present
ahead
for
of time
you,
that you
Sneaky
wanted to know
Wookums.
stuff about Dr. Nefarious wasn't the
I
best
can't
idea.
believe the obvious evil robot turned out to be evil.
Manblibs, the Clank girls in Secret Agent Clank are always betraying Agent
Where
Clank.
am I?
Yeah, with that, man.
Like Nefarious said, he has special plans for Clank.
Clank, it is an honor to finally
You know, when
make
you
your
think about it,
acquaintance.
Nefarious is kind of like a James Bond villain with the femme fatale.
That's pretty much part of the whole satire angle, yeah.
Snot beasts from Dimension X.
Dimension
I
X.
believe there has been a
Are we getting involved the
misunderstanding.
turtles in this too?
Secret Agent Clank is merely a fictional character I play on the horror video.
Guys,
Right.
I can't. It's not right. You're my
Yeah.
cousins.
Oh no!
Oh, God.
But who, Gabriella?
hero to
Who?
robots across the galaxy, and yet you deny your own destiny. You choose.
But yeah, as you may have noticed, some robots regard basically anyone who's not a robot as
It's
squishies.
an
Hence
in-universe
Courtney-
slur,
Organic
basically.
life forms have as much right to
Hence
inhabit
Courtney
this galaxy
Gears'
as we
own
do.
single,
I
Death
see
to
no
All
reason to exclude
Squishies.
them.
I will give
God
you a
damn.
reason. Join me, and together we will rule an entire galaxy of robots. Or refuse. Remain a traitor to your own kind, and follow your beloved
Not for
squishies
nothing,
to the
he was literally
black
killing
hole
robots
of
just for the filming of the
oblivion.
movie Nefarious.
It's all over the place.
Godzilla versus Hedorah, to be honest. Mainly because it was just weird, and weird can kind of drag.
However, we'll have to sadly interrupt things because otherwise this particular section on the planet might be taking a bit too long. So join us in the next part where we reprise the action with Ratchet and hopefully we manage to rescue Clank. See you for that.
Yeah.
See ya.
I